I'm Erica Mandy, and this is Podcast Movement. So my podcast is called The Newsworthy, and I really started it to help people stay informed who were feeling kind of depressed, a little overwhelmed, and like they didn't have time to keep up with everything. And so my philosophy is fast, fair, and fun. It's fast, it's less than 10 minutes, it's fair and unbiased in every episode, and it's fun. We have a wide variety of stories so that people don't feel like you're just focusing on the doom and gloom. So I had spent about 10 years in broadcast journalism. I was a TV news reporter, worked my way up through a lot of different cities to make it to Los Angeles, which is the second largest news market in the country. So in a lot of people's minds, that's the dream job, right? But I realized that when I was talking to people, they were tuning out news altogether. They weren't watching television for their news, and they felt really overwhelmed and depressed by the news. And I became really passionate about how can I inform these people, and myself included, like kind of wanted something that wasn't so depressing. How can I create something that fixes a little bit of those problems so people can still feel informed, feel part of the national conversation? I started researching this idea for a podcast, and I really saw what was happening with the podcast industry, that it was growing, that more and more people were starting to learn about it and get into it. And I liked the idea that they can listen on the go during the morning rush and not have to stare at yet another screen. It became something that I wanted to do more than actually go to my normal job. So I knew that was a sign that I needed to try this. And so I decided to quit my job and see what would happen with this podcast for at least 1 year and see if people resonated with it. Was it something that was growing, that people wanted? And if so, then I would continue. And if not, I trusted myself to get another job or find something else. I was definitely nervous about it, but I knew that if I didn't try, I would wonder what if. And I had to make a decision that I was going to be very public about it, even though people were telling me that I was crazy. And I had to be willing to fail and be embarrassed in front of everybody. And I wanted to do that more than wonder what if I would have tried. A lot of people focus on the excitement of starting something and the success when you reach the success. But very few people will talk about what's happens in the middle, the grind in the middle. And that can be the toughest part for the creator, because all of a sudden people are like, well, it's been a year, like, how's it going, Erica? And you're not to where you would like to eventually be, and you still have to believe in yourself and still not care that they don't get it. And then when you get featured or something in their success, everybody's like, oh wow, yay, yay, yay. And you're like, yeah, but I just worked my butt off for 2 years, you know? So I actually launched my show in 2017 during the week of Podcast Movement. I was kind of strategic about it, and I launched the trailer of my show during the conference so that there was something out there for people to listen to right as I launched. I was very open-minded. I'm just going to meet as many people as I can, and some of the people that I met at Podcast Movement that first year that I went, when I didn't know anybody in the industry, are now some of my closest podcasting friends. That we can then share ideas about podcasts and business and just be a support system for each other. And then by the second time I went to Podcast Movement, I was a speaker, and that brought in new visibility, new opportunities when people see that you're an expert in a certain thing, and then again, the networking opportunities. And by the third time, which is this year, it's really kind of a measuring tool for me that, okay, now it's about the business. Now I have back-to-back meetings with potential partners and ad agencies and different people that can really help the business or be a collaboration. And I can still have this kind of community of podcasters that in some ways feels like a family. And so we always have so much fun getting together and having that face-to-face interaction. That first year, I even met some people that had inspired me or educated me about some podcasting stuff that I had read online. And then those people end up becoming listeners of my show and are people that are friends of mine now. And so it's really neat that this brings together kind of newbies and people that have been doing it for a long time, and those connections can be made. Even through all of the ups and downs of any business or podcast, I mean, it's inevitable that you're gonna have ups and downs. It's gonna be a little bit of a roller coaster. I think it's really important that we all take a step back and have these conversations, because you can give yourself credit for all that you've done and all that you are capable of.